Hello, and welcome back to my channel. I am Lady Calamere. I will be doing my 68th video, and it will be on Lilith. And here we have the star of the show, my little 5-year-old cat, Lady Bost. And yes, I did get two new kittens, and their name is Loki Lofison and the Joker. I named them. I got them when they were 8 weeks. And they were born September 2nd, and I love them. Little balls of energy. And black cats are sacred to Lilith. Do you know that? Anyways, I did 2 short videos. Go look on my channel for them. So let's talk about Lilith. And let's talk about the artwork here. So let's give credit where credit is due. This card comes from Big Box Goddesses and Sirens. This beautiful card comes from the Dark Goddess Oracle cards. And this card, I know I don't use it for oracles at all or tarot or anything. It comes from Spirit of Halloween, but the art is, some of the things are awesome. So that's the only reason why I got them. Hey, little boo, come back. Lady Boss. Oh, she went into the kitchen for something. So, Lilith, is a very powerful, powerful goddess. She's known to be the first born woman, a demon, and a goddess. I like to see her as a goddess. And let me stand this up since she's gone. So let's go look at some of the images. This was given to me, sent to me by my friend Tanya. Thank you very much. Love it. It's from, it's made from Ganges clay. From Sacred Source. And of course I got this image from a pagan store that is now closed. And I got this and I finally had to repair it, but it can't stand. It's been too damaged, so in the shipping. So we got that, and you see her. So Lilith, let's talk about Lilith. Gosh, she's one of the most maligned ladies out there. Misunderstood, even by some Wiccans and pagans. And some still will not work with her. They refer to her as evil, vicious, cruel. And I guess they don't understand her as the way some people understand her. So Lilith has a checkered history, of course. And we look at Lilith, and her name deals with night, as well as the screech owl, which is her animal. So if we look at Lil, in the Sumerian word Lil, it means to deal with wind and air, as well as storm. And we see her originally as a bunch of storm deities that also deal with rain, lightning, and wind, and sexually aggressive to men. And we see the name Lulu, which is licentious. And then we see the Hebrew word Lael, which deals with night. And she's part of Lily and the Lilitu, which were like these demons and storm. And we see the name Lulti, which Lulti, which means sexual lustfulness. Really? And the word la, which comes from the Indo-European language, which means to scream or screech. And even la stands from the Sanskrit word. Oh, boy. Ah, fuck. Ha ha. All right, let's go see what damage was done. Oh, God. Would you look at that? She remained in one piece. Everyone got a good laugh? So what was I saying? The Sanskrit law, right? So the Sanskrit word law. Oh, God. I didn't even catch that. I didn't even know she was going to do that. I can't believe nothing was damaged. Shit, that's a miracle. Lady Boss, you get no points. So we talk about la is to like lick. And we see also lux, she deals with light, which means light. Lux means light. So, and that's a Latin word. So we're starting to get an idea of who she is. She was also called Adama, Adama, because she and later on she was written in as. Why do I have this upside down? Whatever. The wife of Lilith. The wife of Adam. And I'm not going to restart this video because I'm just going to fix this up. So deal with me. Please deal with me. So let's talk about her planetary association. It's both Saturn and the moon. So Saturn and the moon. That's a fucking cat. And we look at the tree of death. She deals with Satriel and Gamaliel, which deals with Saturn, the first one, and Moon, the second one. On the tree of life, we see that she deals with Yesod, which is the sphere of the moon, as well as Binah, dealing with Saturn. Now, some like to associate her with Malkuth, which is the earth, because they associate her with different chakras, and one of them is the base chakra, the root chakra. Which is and the sex chakra. But, so let's talk about her dealing, her elements is definitely storm. The wind and the rain. Liquids, like blood. She deals with the Red Sea. It's called the Red Sea. It's not called the Red Sea just for nothing, if you look at it. And she deals with air, where she flies through the air, and also fire. So her habitations were said to be deserts, wilderness, caves, latrines. Seriously, latrines. The bed. She deals with underneath doors, thresholds, crossroads. Some people associate her with anything to deal with, how can I put this lightly? Bordellos. Places of prostitution. She deals with, some people like to associate her with graveyards. Lilith is a goddess of freedom. So she deals with freedom, breaking of bonds, but she could damn well bind someone. But Lilith can also release someone sexually, free someone sexually, but also bind someone and enslave someone sexually. So let's look at some of her symbols. the flaming sword, wings, the moon. Actually, when people say apples, yes, apples, but we'll get into that. The pomegranate, it's actually the pomegranate. Caves, menstrual blood is a big thing for her. Women's sexual organs, and also when we talk about, I'm going to talk about the goat. Okay, let's get this out in the open. Well, there's no goat in her symbol. If you look at the woman's organs, sexual organs, the ovaries, the fallopian tube, and uterus, take a look at the diagram because it looks just like that, the goat. And the hair this would represent the hair of the woman's pubic hair. So all that deals with her. She also deals with orgasms and sex and carnal desires. Now, her plants and flowers and stuff like that are night blooming jasmines. Jasmine of any type. Lilies, lily of the valley, lang lang, poppy, roses. She especially loves red roses as well as black roses if you can get them. But some people give her white, red, and black, and those are. We'll get into her colors in a minute. Her scents are the oils of musk, patchouli, rose, lang lang scent. Well, some people have been associating lang lang with her. Let me get that. The more of the oil. But people have been giving her lang lang and also orchids, I should have said. But her essential oils is lang lang, patchouli, red rose, musk, jasmine, lily oil, or lily scents. So we'll talk about some of her attributes. She is a goddess of abortion. Just like Set is Lord Abortion in Egypt, she also deals with miscarriages and abortion. But she also deals with childbirth, sex, freedom, independence, equality, strong behavior, fertility, witchcraft, sorcery, magic, shamanism, prostitution, PMS and menstrual blood. When a woman breaks, when her hymen breaks, that's when it snaps and she bleeds. That is what Lilith also deals with. And also the blood when a woman gives birth. She is a goddess of defiance, storms, the moon, anything lunar. She's a goddess of sexual freedom, sex, love, in a love sense or in a carnal sense, but not rape. Not like rape of women. It is said that she does, she is said to sexually offend men if they live alone. Lilith will come and get you, especially if you're a married man by yourself. Ooh. Because when you have nocturnal ejaculation, or if you spill your seed without for procreation, Lilith is there to impregnate herself and make demons to make you sick, whatever. Pleasure, joy, even laughter and desire. Women's liberation movement. Women's lib. In some places we can really use that. Some places really need it where women are subjugated. She don't like that shit. She likes equality. S&M. She loves that. But she doesn't like to be bondage. She likes to give bondage. She's the dominatrix. Sexual dungeons, where she's a dominatrix. And she deals with dominatrix. So, let's talk about some of her animals. Okay, so she's known as Potnia Therion. Potnia Therion is a goddess of beasts. Potnia, the lady of beasts. So she deals with wild animals. Cats, especially black cats. And now we got 4 of them. Miss Kitty, Sir Mew Mew, Joe the Joker, and Loki Lofison. The owl that she particularly deals with is the screech owl. Some people try to associate, say, oh, it's a horned owl. It's the screech owl. Lions have been, as you can see, the lions right here. Serpents, especially the venomous. Snakes. Snakes of all types, especially the venomous snakes. The serpents. So wild animals in general, as well as spiders. There's a spider Lilith, an arachnid Lilith, and the spider she is most associated with, of all the spiders, is the Black Widow, the female Black Widow. Not the male Black Widow, but the female Black Widow. And dare I say goat, as I explained before. Especially Black Phillip. And she's been known to deal with jackals. Yes, jackals. So also places of dwellings is also the parts by the sea, by the Red Sea. I forgot that. The sea, she's sea dwelling. Now, there's also the bird, the Anzu bird that deals with her. And she's also said to deal with dragons. I believe it was Michelangelo that painted her half woman on the top and in the bottom as a serpent. Interesting enough, when we talk about the serpent, she was also described as the serpent who tempts Eve to eat the pomegranate, and in which Eve does, and she gives to Adam. And we see also in one of my some of my books of Kabbalah, they described as the serpent in the tree was actually just translated as Messiah. Ooh, Lilith is a Messiah, but she's the goddess who gives wisdom. She gave wisdom, liberation, individuality, freedom of speech, freedom of thought, freedom of creation. She, in turns in that aspect from wild unga bunga behavior to civilization. Now, feminists like to say that Adam was adult, a dumbass, a jack-off, maybe somewhat, but Lilith really liked him at first. Well, she was written into it, okay, because there's older stories before she was written into Genesis. But if I don't speak about this, people are going to get mad at me. So she does deal with her. So let's talk about her offerings, what you can offer her. Just some of the offerings. Apples, pomegranates, menstrual blood. Your blood, pick her finger. Be careful if you give her blood. Don't like slash your vein open. You can prick your finger over blood. Sexual fluids, orgasm, chocolate, honey, anything sweet. You can give her milk, steak tartare especially. Nice seared steak, and give it to her like that. And honey cakes. Roses, like I told you, her flowers and her oils. She likes incense, especially like even burning amber. She likes that. She what else? Ooh. Well, there's other things that, like, I'm just trying to think what it is. I said apples and pomegranates, right? You can give her fruits, wine. Some people have been known to give her marijuana, damiana, as well. Whether it's a tea or the herb, or it's just because when you smoke damiana, it does kind of make you high a little bit. But be careful if you have asthma, because it's really heavy. It only gives you like a spiritual high, but it makes you high, not as long lasting as pot. Champagne, wine, grapes, different types of liquor. I mean, don't give her a beer. Don't give her like a Michelob or something. Give her something nice, like maybe something like a martini or a margarita. Some of these mixed drinks. Sangria. I know some people have grapes. They like to give her. There's also a thing called witch's fingers grapes. They're really long black grapes, and they're called witch's fingers. You can give her that. So you can also give her apple juice, mead, MEAD, which is fermented honey, and MEADE, which is wine with honey. So it's grapes, wine with honey. So those are just some a guidance of what to give her. I do want to show some books that I personally do recommend, and I'm going to show you the first one. And I talked to the author, so he said I could, if I want to quote it, when I get a chance, I will. If I have The Magic of Lilith by Bal Codman. I only have it in, so I brought my tablet out just for this. Calling Upon the Great Goddess of the Left-Hand Path. Really good book, because he has a lot of information and he proves it. He puts the proof in the pudding right there of anything he talks about. We got Welcoming Lilith by Teresa C. Dentino, which has information and rituals. We got Lilith, the goddess of the Sitra Aura, edited by a Ascendant Mason by Black Tower Publishing. And the last one, but it doesn't just deal with Lilith, but she has a really good chapter on it. It's again by Bal Codman. Devils, Demons, and Ghosts in the Hebrew tradition, romancing the Sitra Achra. And this is like one of the biggest books I have on by him, and it's really in depth. So there's something I do want to look at, which he brings up a very interesting thing, because one time I read something about it, but I kind of dismissed it, where in a Zoroastrian, that she was the mother of Ahriman. So you have Ahura Mazda, the god of good, the god of light, the god of happiness and holiness, and then you have Ahriman, which is the dragon freaking the god of darkness, of evil, and the boogeyman behind the door, where she was the mother, and the child was called Herman. But looks up like he looks up Herman, and he goes. He says, I can quote it, so I don't want to read too much of it. On the surface, this doesn't look like much. That is until you look up what Herman is. Hermine. Jostro, an encyclopedia of Talmudic states, and the Ariman, the evil principle, is in the Zendavesta. So here we have a direct quote by the rabbis that indicate that they were aware of the Zoroastrian beliefs. There is more. The rabbis were so well aware of this dualism that they go into state that Sanhedrin, a certain magus, said to Amirmar, from your midpoint and up is the dominion of Hermes, the good. So we got the God of good who created the significant and essential elements of the body, and from your midpoint and down is the domain of Hermes, the good God of bad. We just looked at Herman. So he goes on, and Hermine becomes Ariman. So here we see, it's pretty interesting. I'll just I just lost my page. I don't like looking up. I don't like reading from books in my presentations at all. So, this is just really interesting, and I do suggest this to get this book to, because he goes on to different things about the tree of death. So, anyways, she was also found, like, and there's another book that also talks about her nursing Ariman, which is in here, and her waking him up. So yes, so here it is. The rabbis of the Talmud of Zoroastrianism, and stated that Ariman was the son of Lilith. There we are. I found it. I've been distracted lately because of my kittens, my new kittens. I had to take them to the vet. They weren't feeling too good, but they're getting better now. Anyways, I digress. So anyways, if we look at the story, different stories, and now I have a book, and one of the books is by Sylvia Brown, and she actually puts voodoo, witchcraft, and Wicca in a very positive light, and that's very important, because her books have, for back then, were #1 sellers of New York Times sellers, and a lot of people were reading it. So she speaks of voodoo, witchcraft, and Wicca in a good light, and she was talking about Lilith, and she said that she psychically saw Lilith, and she, from the story she hears about Lilith, blah, 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 I'm gonna drink your blood. Blah, blah, blah. So anyways, and yes, she is a vampire, Lilith, but she saw Lilith in more of a positive light, that Lilith has always been the handmaiden of the goddess. To her, the goddess is Asna, and the god is Dora, who she names him Lord or Father Om. However, she was seen in golden light with beautiful wings, helping the earth to grow, allowing fertility of the earth, of plants, of nature, allowing animals to become pregnant, allowing animals to give birth to their cubs, to their kittens, to their puppies. That she in fact allow the foliage to grow and turn green and and the flowers to blossom. Sounds evil to me, huh? And we look in Babylonian where she was the handmaiden, Sumeria, handmaiden of Inanna. Here we see the great goddess having a handmaiden Lilith. And then later in Babylon, we see the story of Gilgamesh. And Inanna, the wood, sacred wood to Lilith is willow, pussy willow. Willow trees are sacred to Lilith. Because the story just jogged my memory. And please bear with me. I've been very worried about my kittens. So please bear with me. I have to give them medicine every day. But they're a ball of energy. Driving me nuts, waking me up all night. Lily waking me up. Biting my neck. So anyways, we see in the story with Gilgamesh has to be the hero for Inanna after creation of earth and humans and life. Inanna was pretty much bordering her hulupu tree. And Inanna it should be Ishtar. Sorry, Ishtar. And Ishtar was crying because her sacred tree with her sacred images. And we see the patriarchal taking over because our sacred images of the goddess of Inanna and Ishtar is the Anzu bird, Lilith, her handmaiden, and the serpent. So we see she wants to make her tree, her beautiful tree, into her throne in the bed. But she cried because Anzu was on the crown, the top of the tree, with his brood. And in the middle was Lilith, who made her home. And in the bottom was a dragon serpent. So Gilgamesh, the great hero, kills and destroys the serpent dragon. He chases the Anzu, and the Anzu bird takes his young and flees. And Lilith was evicted. And in which Lilith smashes her home and flies off into the desert. In which the goddess was so grateful, because she makes her throne and her bed out of the wood. But she made the drum from the top and the bottom of the trees to give to Gilgamesh, so that he can use this drum to shamanically contact the gods above in the heavens, and also to travel into the underworld, to communicate with the underworld. So there we see her tree, now taken down, her wild tree, and her symbols chased away. Why would a goddess of sovereignty have her tree destroyed, cut down? Why would she have her? Well, we could say, okay, I want my tree into throne in my bed. But her handmaiden chased away, her bird chased away, and the serpent destroyed and given to Gilgamesh, who is 2 parts God and 1 part human. Think about that. Chew on that. I want you to chew on that. Another thing, she was later on written into the stories. And first, so there's different accounts to the stories that Adam and Lilith were made at the same time from the same substance. Then there's a story that said, no, Adam was made first, and God said, well, man should not be alone, so me will make a woman out of the same substance, which becomes Lilith. Now, no. Adam was made from dust and soil, good soil, where Lilith was made from basically slime, sewage, and filth after Adam was made. And then even some stories, it gets even more twisted. You know, that God made Adam, and then he made Eve and Lilith at the same time. So Lilith and so let's get to as if Adam and Lilith were made. They are in so-called paradise, a man's world there, where Adam gets to name everything, the plants, the trees, the animals. No, I get to name this. You don't, you don't, you don't. And Adam starts Lord, but Lilith, desired him. But then, of course, Adam lords over her, and then he says to her, "You, during sex, you were to be beneath him." And she says, "Wait a minute, we were made equal." Adam says, "No, you, everything in here in this garden is mine, and so are you. I am above you, and you are beneath me. Basically, you are to be subjugated." So Lilith gets mad. Now, here's where it gets weird, where we see some inconsistency. How does a mere woman know the true name of God? She says his name, grows wings, but look, Adam doesn't have wings. But she flies off. She can fly off, but Adam screams, "When you see that woman with me." And God said, "Well, if she comes back, all will be good." So he sends his angels, his messengers, and the three angels, of course, go to Lilith, and their name in this order. And these are the angels who are in charge of medicine, is Sinoi, Sensinoi, and Semengoloth. And they go to Lilith, and they say, "Come back." She said, "Fuck you," basically. "I won't." And they find her by the Red Sea, having fun in the air, and the Red Sea, fucking demons, and being free and doing whatever the hell she wants. And they said, "You have to come back," and she basically says no. And they threatened to drown her, but they couldn't overpower her. And she said, then it comes out that, "I was made for killing babies." Well, wait a minute. If Adam was the first one, and Lilith didn't even have children yet, or did they? How could she kill babies unless there were other people? Because even it says when, later on, and I'm going ahead of myself, but, so she promised that she would not kill babies if they have the name of these angels on some talisman. And so she says, "I will have power to kill boys from birth to day 8 until they're circumcised." So we have to circumcise and cut their penis, part of their penis off, right? The skin, in order to protect them from Lilith. And there's a covenant to God. And then for little girls, she has power to kill them until they're about 20 days old. Unless it has, her talisman does protect her from her wrath. So then they say, "Well, we're going to kill, either she has to kill or they will kill 100 of her babies every day." So she agreed to that. Wow. Right? So anyways, going on in the stories, we see even that Lilith was jealous of Eve, and that she tried to tempt Adam, and then she tells Eve, "Hey, I'm the first woman." "No, I thought I was." "Nope, sister, I am." So she gives the pomegranate a wisdom, and in which Eve eats and gives it to Adam, and then he eats, and of course they're kicked out of the paradise because now they know, difference from right and wrong, what they should do. They're no longer naked, they clothe themselves. And of course God says to angels, if God was the only one, why would he say to the angels, "Now they'll be just like us"? But I remember in one passage in one Bible, now there be gods just like us. I thought there was only one God. But if I was the the God of the universe, why would I say the angels will be just like us? No, they'll be more like just like you. Not me. I'm the superior. So we see some of the things that kind of don't fit, right? And also it was described that Lilith was the bride of God, and that it would be the Messiah comes that will change that. And he will chase that, kill that nasty westy Lilith, right? But there's also stories about how she's one of the guardians of the tree of life. And also in the Bible, women are the problem. We're the woes of everything that's gone wrong in the world. If you look at the Bible, women are blamed for just about everything. So some people say, as in the Bible, that God did not create that he took from darkness. And some people like to say that darkness is Lilith. Now, Lilith deals with the night. She's a nocturnal goddess. Now, as the moon wanes, her powers grow. So yes, she is worshipped on the full moon, but she also deals with the dark moon. There's also an astrological thing called the black moon Lilith. So it's not an actual... Look up Black Moon Lilith. It's very interesting. There's also a book called Black Moon Lilith. I forgot to bring it down. I don't even know where I have it. I have it in one library somewhere buried. Anyways, I got way too many books. I don't even have room in my library. I just pile some books on top of each other, and I didn't feel like digging. Even though I have things by in alphabetical order usually, except for the books I don't have any room for. So, Black Moon Lilith. There's also other astrological things that are dealt with Lilith. In Greece, she's more associated with Lamia, the Lamia spirits. So one of the her mantra, her N that you can use as a mantra: Ranish Vyasa Avaj Lilith Larash. Ranish Vyasa Avaj Lilith Larash. Ranish Vyasa Avaj Lilith Larash. There's also Ahihe Lilith, or Ahihe Lilitu. She's also called Lilith. Now, and also I had a friend once that asked the rabbi in the synagogue who was Lilith, can you tell me about Lilith? He was literally kicked out. The rabbi said, get the hell out, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here now. He literally kicked my friend out for bringing up the name Lilith. So Lilith has been demeaned as evil, a whore, a bitch. And you see, women of power, whores, bitches, or witches, or hags. We're all, we're all supposed to be submissive and the good girl. But what history has good girls made? We see a lot of the history made by. We see that the bad girls, or like Annie Oakley, makes history. The two women pirates. We see women that break the social norms, or get like Rosa Parks are remembered. Rosa Parks wasn't just standing up. She was just she wasn't trying to be a civil rights leader. She just didn't want to fucking get up in the front seat because she was tired and go to the back seat. So she got arrested and she made history, but she disobeyed. Lilith wants freedom. And yes, she can be used to curse and bind. But she can also be used to free and liberate. And women that stand up for themselves in some countries are burned, stoned to death, and tortured, imprisoned for being the bad girl. Lilith deals with hair, long flowing hair, so therefore a woman's hair should be bound and covered. It's a thing that tempts men. She's a temptress, a whore, a prostitute. How dare she speak of freedom for women? Bunga, 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 get beneath me. I had to do it, I'm sorry. But this is how I see some of these men in different countries, and some of these men that abuse their wife and say women have no freedom. They're cavemen. Woman, she wants the woman to be creative, to explore. She wants men to look at the feminine side. In some cultures, men are told not to cry, not to feel, not to be all emotional. They get smacked in their head. Boy, what you doing crying like a woman? What are you, a bitch? She tells women to look at themselves and men to look at themselves and to be free of this bullshit. And sometimes you have to be the expression of fuck this shit. Sometimes you just have to fuck this shit. And in rituals, if you want to do something ritual, before you just, go in with your hair bound and just take it out and say fuck this shit. Take off your robe or your ritual clothes and say fuck this shit. Fuck it. Stop looking at your body as shameful. Stop looking at sex as shameful. The only rape is shameful. And rape was used to control, to ruin. And in some cases, a raped woman was an unmarriable woman. And in some cultures, she was forced to marry her rapist. How nice. Goddess Lilith is wild, liberated, freedom. She is creative. She says, fuck you. I will not do this. Goddess, she is the goddess of the south wind. So you could face, if you want, east as well as south and even north for the death. But south wind, she is the beautiful, she's her, okay, so as crone Lilith, she's married to Samael, or Samiel as people pronounce it. And as the young maiden Lilith, she's Asmodeus, or Asmodai. So we see the hag Lilith, the old crone, and she's also maiden, but she's also a mother. And basically, she's a female night creature in Hebrew. Ooh, you a creature! How dare you? In some senses, she's the spider Lilith. She weaves her webs of fate and fortune, and to capture you. And it's said in some aspects, she does not have blood in her. She has venom. Her breasts are not filled with milk, but venom. Her womb is filled with blood and not life. Our Lilith time for women is when our womb fills with blood and not a baby. Our Lilith time is when we have the PMS, when we're the bitch, when we're all hormonal. Our Lilith time is when we are sexually free. Our Lilith time is when we broke our hymen. Part of the sacred rites of the feminine, part of the sacred rites of the feminine, the sex, where we break our hymen. Her colors are red, black, as well as silver, and even red, black with white, and even golden, as I described, as some people have literally seen her golden. Now, also her hair was described as the first gold. Now, she was a firstborn woman. Now, she's her hair, okay, it's described as gold, black, as well as red. But here's interesting: if she was a firstborn woman, how could she have red hair? Because the red hair gene, the ginger gene, did not come into later in the evolution of humans. So you can look that up. That's really interesting. You know, that later, as humans evolved, and as we traveled across the globe, we start getting that gene of red hair. But she is described as a red hair witch, and in fact, Massachusetts had, I think they abolished it, or if they still have it on the books, they don't follow it. Redheaded people, especially redheads, especially women, could be fired from their jobs, could be denied a home. So, because of the witchcraft laws. But that was interesting, because I had a few friends in Massachusetts who told me, and I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, the redheaded witch. So we also see Lilith as the raging woman, the angry woman, the pissed off woman, the bitch, the woman who does not obey, the woman who rather be alpha than beta or omega. So we see woman as, she's a hairy woman. Her class of demons were the hairy-legged woman and the hairy woman. So the pubic hair and or hairy, and the hairy legs and the hairy arms. I don't have hairy arms. I don't really have too hairy legs, but you know. She is a woman who exposes the truth and hypocrisy. She's a witch. She deals with witchcraft and sorcery. She loves witches. She loves the night. In fact, in Hebrew, this was against their religion and their beliefs, is to kiss your hand, throw it to the moon, the back of your hand. So kiss this back and 3 times. It was considered a sin to throw your kisses like that at the moon. It's a salutation to the moon. Now, also, she's a woman of power. Lilith is a muse. Lilith is a bleeding woman. So drinking of menstrual blood, making art with your menstrual blood, blessing yourself and others with menstrual blood. Now, please be careful. If you have any STDs, please do not bless people. I have to put that down in case someone does something stupid and then blames me. So, just be aware of that. She's our shadow. She's our shadow side that we like to deny. She's the goddess. She's a vampire. She deals with vampirism. So it could be physical, drinking blood. It could be a draining of energy. She could be a psychic vampire. Yeah. But also we can use vampirism to drain out the negative and get rid of it, right? The pain and the suffering. But yeah, she is into that. She's a gothic woman. She's goth. She's definitely she definitely loves her leather. She's a dominatrix. Lilith is a woman of power, of rage, in control. If you do sexual rites with Lilith and you call Lilith in yourself, do not lie on your back. You should be on top. Lilith in you should, if you call Lilith in you, trust me, she gets very angry. I did that once, and the person I was with scratching up like crazy, and I had to be on top. So yes, so in sex magic, Lilith is on top. She will not be on bottom. Notice in Hinduism, when the god and goddess are copulating, the goddess is on top. Or if they're just laying on each other, it's the goddess on top. You always see, you don't see Kali beneath Shiva. You see Shiva beneath Kali. And even Tara, Shiva's beneath Tara. It's not the other way around. Lilith, you can give Lilith, okay, waters that you can offer Lilith. Storm water, collecting, if you can legally collect storm water. I can't tell you to break the law, right? You want to do what the fuck you want. Moon water, which is, you know, also sacred water, made like holy water through the moon. You want, you could put rose water. Rose water, she likes that. She likes rose water. Or you could put, you can make sacred water with rose water and blessing it. So just offering her a glass of water, of like spring water, or she likes that. So sex workers, they're under her patronage. And like I said, she's originally from Samaria, Babylon, the Mesopotamian area. So, as you see, one of her symbols is right here. This is her. Look up the symbol of Lilith. So another symbol that people would use against her, of course, there were demon bulls, as Baal Kadmon was talking about in his book. Also, they would take charcoal and throw it over the baby, and it says Adam and Eve, out Lilith. And also, if they catch a little baby smiling in their sleep, they would tap the lip 3 times, out Lilith. Because God forbid a baby actually has a happy dream, because you see that Lilith is molesting the baby. So, stay away, baby. And that's, stay away, love. But Baal Kadmon also goes on about how she may have been confused or conflated with Lamastu, which Lamastu was said to kill babies and cause miscarriages, and that Pazuzu is the adversary of Lamastu, so they would use Pazuzu to chase Lamastu away. And Lamastu is also a Platnia Virion, where she's a goddess of wild beasts. You see animals suckling from her breasts. So, what else do I want to talk about? Lilith. Black Lilith has also been associated with the Black Madonna, the Black Goddess, the Black Earth. And as we see that the Earth eats its own children, right? The womb and the tomb. Where from the Earth you come, from the Earth you will go back to. Lilith can be invoked through joy, laughter. They even say laughter is hers. Through just dancing wildly in nature. So, what color is Lilith's hair? Some say that Lilith's hair is the first gold. Others say it's black, and that her skin is pale white, and that she has fangs like a vampire. Others say like her part of her body is either flame, and that her body is that of a woman or serpent, half serpent, half woman, or she's even said to have talon feet. Oh, let's talk about this. Now, some say this is Eresh Kigal, others say it's Inanna, but it's Lilith, and Baal Codman describes this that it was. He goes on to talk about the plaque. This plaque about how it may have been not so ancient, but well, I'm not gonna get it. Let's just look at this, okay? The Bernie relief. So we see the keys to heaven and earth. These are the keys. This is the horn crown and the wings. But he really describes about this. I'm not really going to get into it. I'm not going to discuss what the author says or didn't say. I'm just going to let you read it. But he does some interesting things. But here's, like, you see the serpent tongues. See the tongue? Here. And the lion and the owl. And she's standing upon it, and she's winged. But she has the horn crown of divinity, which shows she's no mere mortal. Maybe I have some time to discuss it a little bit. Lilith. Because I'm already into the hour, and I don't like doing too far about the hour. Maybe it's in the other book. Okay, Agrat Bat Malat is also said to be one of the daughters of Lilith. It suggested that. Or the daughter of Malat, which Malat could have been Lilith. Some have, and he writes, some have suggested that she and Lilith are the same, but there is no proof of this. And I did ask the author's permission to read some of this, so he doesn't mind. So we see Arab, the daughter of Malat, she and 180,000 angels of destruction go out at these times. And alone at night, with regard to the instruction, do not go alone at night. The Gemara states that this is as it was taught in a Baraita. One should not go out alone at night, neither on Tuesday nights nor on the Sabbath night, which is Friday night, Shabbat night, the Shabbat night, Friday nights, because the demon Agrat, daughter of Malat, who's going to get you on Friday nights before Saturday. So, anyway, what does it say about her? Does he have anything about the burning relief? So, okay, her days and her times. Planetary time of Moon and Saturn are great times to call her. Her planetary power, did I say that? Okay, her days are Monday and Saturday. You can call her any other day, any day, but Monday and Saturday are definitely great days to call her. Blood moon, when the moon is blood red, is also sacred to her. So when you see bloody moon, like when it's red, that's also sacred to her. Whether it's full or not, once you see the moon is bloody, it's a good time to call on her. Lilith is definitely goddess of the night, especially the witching hour to 3 a.m. It's really good times when things are active, where, the paranormal is more active at this time. It gets more active, especially during storms, even no matter what time of day, when this, you can have activity, especially with lightning. So we see that Lilith is very complex, and she takes on many masks, many guises, many roads, and many aspects. We see Lilith in many different ways. and she takes on different tendencies, some even very darker. Now, another thing is that she is there when a woman gives birth, that she actually acts as part of a midwife in a way. So, like I said, she's a goddess of fertility, helping the animals and to give birth, and to seeds to start to the germination of things, and to grow, and things to go to pop through the soil, and flowers to bloom. Why not human children? So, and he also talks about, even in the Hebrew tradition in the Old Testament, I'm just going back to Baal Kadmon. That when I was just talking about wasn't from Baal Kadmon. So Baal Kadmon writes this, Isaiah chapter 34:14, and the wildcat shall meet with the jackals, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow. Yea, Lilith shall repose there, and shall find her a place of rest. He also goes on that Lila means, in essence, she is a night demon. But I don't. So again, this book, please get that. I'll get this out again. This, The Magic of Lilith by Baal Kadmon. Welcoming Lilith. Lilith, goddess of the Sitra Ra. You can all be found at occult stores or Amazon.com. And this is from that. Great for the artwork. You can tape this to candles. You can use this as, if you don't have statues, you can use this as meditation and focal points. And I just got this. This came in the mail this week. So Lilith from this. So I want to thank you for watching this. And if you enjoy this, please like and subscribe. Share this video with friends and family and your groups. And if you like this and enjoyed this, please thinking about giving to women's shelters, and for women and children, for battered women, especially for battered women. If you don't have any money, please donate some canned goods, maybe some lightly used clothing, blankets, towels, toilet paper, toiletries, hand sanitizers, dried and canned goods is good if you can, if you can donate $1 or maybe volunteer some time. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all my subscribers, and thank you to all those who give me comments and likes. And as always, blessed be. Hail Lilith.